Hash-rewritten script. Castor oil benefits 2,500 words. What if I told you that every single night while you're asleep, your body is running the most incredible healing program you've never been told about? I'm talking about a cleaning system so powerful, so precise, that it literally flushes toxins from your brain, rebuilds your immune system from scratch, and resets your entire digestive system without you even knowing it's happening. This isn't some wellness fantasy or social media trend. This is real, measurable biology that scientists have documented happening inside your body every time you enter deep sleep. But here's the part that's going to change everything for you. There's a way to amplify this entire overnight healing process using one ancient substance that costs less than your morning coffee. A substance that, when you apply it at exactly the right time, transforms your sleep into the most powerful healing session your body has ever experienced. I'm not talking about expensive supplements or complicated routines. I'm talking about castor oil, and I'm about to show you the exact science behind why this works and how you can start seeing results as soon as tomorrow morning. Let me be completely honest with you. For years, I ignored castor oil because it sounded too simple, too old-fashioned, too much like something your grandmother would suggest. I thought real solutions had to come in fancy bottles with clinical names and high price tags. But then I started digging into the actual research, the peer-reviewed studies, the molecular biochemistry that explains what this oil does inside your body. What I discovered completely changed my understanding of healing. This isn't folklore passed down through generations without explanation. This is precise, documented science that shows exactly how specific compounds in castor oil interact with receptors in your body to trigger measurable healing responses. The reason this works isn't mysterious. It's because ricinoleic acid, the main active compound in castor oil, has a unique molecular structure that allows it to do things no other natural substance can do. It penetrates deeper than almost any other oil. It binds to specific receptors in your intestines, your immune system, and your nervous system. It triggers cascading reactions that continue working for hours after you apply it. Think about your stomach right now. If you're like most people, there's probably some bloating, some heaviness, that uncomfortable feeling that your clothes are just a little too tight around your waist. You've probably tried everything. Cutting out certain foods, drinking more water, taking probiotics, doing ab exercises. But nothing seems to make that persistent bloat go away. Here's why. The problem isn't just what you're eating. The problem is what's stuck inside your digestive system, fermenting and creating gas, building up layers of sticky biofilm on your intestinal walls that trap waste and prevent proper digestion. When you apply a castor oil pack to your abdomen before bed, something remarkable happens. The ricinoleic acid penetrates through your skin, through the layers of tissue, and reaches the smooth muscle of your intestines. It binds to something called EP3 receptors, which are like switches that control intestinal contractions. When these receptors activate, your intestines start performing coordinated wave-like movements called peristalsis. These aren't random spasms. These are the exact same natural contractions your body uses to move waste through your system, except now they're amplified and sustained throughout your entire sleep cycle. But there's something else happening simultaneously that most people completely miss. While the oil is stimulating movement, it's also breaking down that sticky biofilm coating your intestinal walls. This is the layer that traps fermented waste, causes bloating, and creates that heavy, uncomfortable feeling that never quite goes away. You're not just moving things along, you're actually cleaning the pipes. You're dissolving the accumulated residue that's been cementing itself inside your digestive system for months or even years. By day 3 of consistent application, something shifts. You wake up and your stomach is visibly flatter. Your clothes fit differently. That constant pressure and heaviness is gone. This isn't water weight fluctuation. This isn't temporary. This is mechanical clearing of actual waste material. And once it's gone, it stays gone as long as you maintain the practice. People tell me they feel lighter, more comfortable in their body, more energized throughout the day. That's because when your digestive system isn't working overtime to process stagnant waste, it frees up enormous amounts of energy for everything else. Now let's talk about something even more powerful, something that separates castor oil from every other natural remedy you've ever tried. Your lymphatic system is essentially your body's sewage system. It runs parallel to your bloodstream, collecting cellular waste, toxins, dead cells, and pathogens, then filtering everything through your lymph nodes before elimination. Unlike your cardiovascular system, which has your heart pumping blood constantly, your lymphatic system has no pump. It relies entirely on movement, muscle contractions, and manual stimulation to keep fluid moving. When your lymph gets stagnant, toxins accumulate in your tissues. You feel swollen, heavy, foggy, and tired. Your immune system becomes sluggish because it's overwhelmed trying to process waste that isn't moving efficiently. There was a pivotal study published in the Journal of Naturopathic Medicine that measured what happens when people apply castor oil packs to their abdomen. Within just 24 hours, their lymphocyte count increased by over 60% compared to people using plain cloth packs. Lymphocytes are your immune system's frontline soldiers. They're the cells that hunt down pathogens, eliminate infected cells, and clean up cellular debris. A 60% increase isn't subtle. That's a massive amplification of your body's natural defense and cleaning capacity. Here's what's happening at the cellular level that makes this so powerful. When ricinoleic acid comes into contact with your Peyer's patches, which are specialized immune tissues scattered throughout your small intestine, it triggers a systemic immune activation cascade. Your lymph nodes start producing more white blood cells, your spleen increases output, your entire immune system shifts into a more aggressive, active state. When you apply the oil over your liver or across your abdomen before sleep, you're essentially manually pumping your lymphatic system, forcing stagnant fluid and accumulated toxins out of your tissues so your body can eliminate them the next morning. This is why people consistently report feeling clearer, lighter, and more energized after just 3 nights of consistent use. Their brain fog lifts, their skin looks brighter, their energy stabilizes. This isn't placebo effect. This is measurable immune activation and detoxification happening in real time. If you take nothing else from this entire conversation, implement this one practice. Apply castor oil to your abdomen before bed, cover it with an old towel, and let your body do the rest while you sleep. This is the detoxification protocol that actually works, not because of marketing hype, but because of documented biological mechanisms. Let's talk about sleep, because this might be the most unexpected benefit of all. Everyone knows about lavender for relaxation, magnesium for muscle tension, melatonin supplements for sleep initiation. But castor oil works through a completely different pathway that most people have never heard about. When you rub it on your eyelids or apply it to your belly button before bed, something shifts in your nervous system within minutes. The absorption of ricinoleic acid promotes a direct transition from your sympathetic nervous system, which controls your fight or flight response, into your parasympathetic nervous system, which controls rest, digestion, and healing. Here's the cascade of events that unfolds. First, the oil reduces systemic inflammation throughout your body. Chronic low-grade inflammation, the kind most people carry without even knowing it, keeps your cortisol levels elevated. Elevated cortisol is your stress hormone, and when it stays high, it actively suppresses your melatonin production. Melatonin is what signals your brain that it's time to sleep. By reducing inflammation, castor oil removes the biochemical brake that's been preventing your natural melatonin and synthesis. Simultaneously, the oil stimulates your vagus nerve, which is the main communication highway between your brain and your gut. When your vagus nerve is activated, it sends calming signals throughout your entire body. Your heart rate slows. Your breathing deepens. Your muscles release tension you didn't even know you were holding. This is the biological switch that moves you from stressed and wired into calm and ready for deep rest. The result is profound. You don't just fall asleep faster. You enter REM sleep and deep sleep stages that you might have forgotten even existed. You wake up without grogginess, without that heavy, drugged feeling that comes from sleep medications. People tell me they dream again for the first time in years. They wake up feeling genuinely rested rather than just less tired. This is biochemistry working exactly as it should, not pharmaceutical intervention forcing your brain into unconsciousness. If you struggle with insomnia or restless sleep, if you wake up multiple times during the night or feel exhausted even after 8 hours in bed, this simple application before sleep could be the shift that finally gives you back the rest your body desperately needs. Now let's talk about what this does for your appearance, because the results here are visible and undeniable. You've probably spent hundreds of dollars on face creams, serums, and treatments that promise to reduce wrinkles and restore youthful skin. Most of those products sit on top of your skin, creating a temporary appearance of moisture while actually clogging your pores and preventing your skin from breathing properly. Castor oil is fundamentally different. It's what's called a humectant, which means it draws moisture from the air directly into your skin. But because its molecular structure allows it to penetrate far deeper than other oils, it doesn't just hydrate the surface. It reaches the dermal layer where collagen and elastin are produced. The fatty acids in castor oil fill microscopic gaps in your skin matrix, providing the raw materials your cells need to produce new collagen. It neutralizes free radicals, the unstable molecules that damage cells and accelerate aging. When you apply this to your face before bed and wake up the next morning, you look like you just had a professional facial. Your skin is plumper, smoother, more radiant, fine lines appear softer, your complexion looks more even. This is real structural change happening at the cellular level, not just a cosmetic surface effect. After consistent use for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, the transformation becomes even more dramatic. Fine lines flatten, skin texture smooths out significantly, age spots begin to fade. People consistently report that they look years younger, and it's not just their perception. The collagen production stimulated by regular castor oil application is measurable. Your skin is literally rebuilding itself from the inside out. This is regenerative medicine at its most elegant and accessible. You're not masking aging, you're reversing some of the cellular damage that causes visible aging in the first place. If you're tired of expensive treatments that deliver minimal results, if you want something that actually works at the level where aging happens, this is it. Simple, inexpensive, and remarkably effective when used consistently. Let me address something critical that could actually harm you if you don't understand it. Not all castor oil is created equal, and this is where most people unknowingly sabotage their own health. Castor seeds are incredibly hard to press, which makes oil extraction difficult and expensive. To cut costs, most manufacturers use a chemical solvent called hexane to dissolve the oil out of the seeds. Hexane is a byproduct of crude oil refining. It's a known neurotoxin that can cause nerve damage, dizziness, and long-term neurological problems. When manufacturers use hexane extraction, trace amounts of this toxic chemical remain in the final product. If you're applying this to your skin every night, you're transdermally absorbing a neurotoxin and directly into your bloodstream. You're poisoning the very system you're trying to heal. This isn't theoretical. This is documented contamination that regulatory agencies allow within certain limits because the amounts are considered small. But small amounts add up over time, especially when you're applying it daily to large areas of your body. There's a second contamination issue that's equally dangerous. Ricinoleic acid is such an effective penetrating agent that it's actually used industrially as a plasticizer. If you buy castor oil in a plastic bottle, the oil will leach chemicals directly out of the plastic container, and into the oil itself. BPA phthalates and other endocrine disruptors that mimic estrogen in your body will contaminate the oil. When you rub that contaminated oil on your thyroid, your chest, your abdomen near your reproductive organs, you're dosing yourself with hormone, disrupting chemicals that can cause fertility problems, thyroid dysfunction, and hormonal imbalances. This is why the rule is absolute and non-negotiable. Only use castor oil that is hexane-free, cold, pressed, and packaged in glass bottles. These 3 criteria must all be met. If the label doesn't explicitly state all 3, don't buy it. If it's cheap and comes in a plastic bottle, throw it away. This isn't being overly cautious. This is protecting yourself from preventable harm while trying to improve your health. Your body has an incredible capacity for self-healing that modern life has suppressed through constant stress, poor sleep, toxic exposure, and stagnant waste accumulation. Every symptom you experience, whether it's bloating, poor sleep, joint pain, aging skin, low energy, or brain fog, is your body's way of signaling that something is blocked or stagnant. Standard medical advice treats these symptoms individually with medications that often create new problems while masking the original issue. You're told to take anti-inflammatories for pain, laxatives for constipation, sleep medications for insomnia, expensive creams for aging skin. Each solution treats the smoke while ignoring the fire. The fire is stagnation. The fire is accumulated waste that your body can't eliminate efficiently. The fire is chronic low-grade inflammation that keeps your healing system suppressed. Castor oil doesn't treat individual symptoms. It addresses the underlying stagnation that creates multiple symptoms simultaneously. By stimulating lymphatic drainage, supporting intestinal motility, reducing systemic inflammation, and promoting parasympathetic activation, it removes the obstacles preventing your body from healing itself. This isn't new information. Castor oil has been used therapeutically for over 4,000 years across multiple ancient medical systems. The Egyptians documented its use, traditional Chinese medicine incorporated it, Ayurvedic practitioners prescribed it. Western medicine used it extensively until the pharmaceutical industry developed more profitable synthetic alternatives. What's new is our understanding of the precise molecular mechanisms that explain why this ancient remedy works. We now know about EP3 receptors, ricinoleic acid pathways, lymphocyte production cascades, vagus nerve stimulation, and collagen synthesis at the dermal level. We can point to specific biochemical processes and say, this is exactly what happens when you apply castor oil, and this is why you get these specific results. You don't have to choose between ancient wisdom and modern science. The best approach integrates both, using time-tested practices that we can now explain and optimize through scientific understanding. Tonight, before you go to bed, you have an opportunity to transform your sleep into the most powerful healing session your body has experienced in years. Apply the oil to your abdomen, your chest, your face, wherever you need support. Wear an old tiche. Because this will stain fabric permanently. Cover the area with a cloth or towel to protect your bedding. Then go to sleep and let your body's natural overnight redemption cycle do what it's designed to do, except now amplified and supported by this remarkable substance. You might wake up tomorrow with a flatter stomach, clearer skin, deeper rest, and more energy than you've felt in months. Or it might take 3 nights, a week, 2 weeks for you to notice the shift. Everyone's body responds at its own pace, depending on how much accumulated stagnation needs to be cleared. But if you stay consistent, if you make this a regular practice rather than something you try once and abandon, the results will come. Your body wants to heal. It's designed to heal. You just need to remove the obstacles and provide the right support at the right time. This is that support. This is your chance to finally experience what your body is capable of when you work with its natural rhythms instead of against them. Start tonight and see what changes by morning.